Yo, what's going on, everyone? Thank you for checking out the channel today. Today we are going to be going over the Snorlax Stall list that Azul GG just used to win the Stockholm Regional Championships. Snorlax was definitely one heck of a meta call. It capitalizes on the popularity of decks like Charizard and Chien-Pao, which naturally don't run a lot of ways to switch, or if they do, they run them in very low counts, so it is relatively easy to establish a win con of just sitting behind a Snorlax and waiting for your opponent to deck out. Now, the list definitely has had some unique innovations with recent cards coming out. This list really doesn't look anything like Snorlax used to before, so I'm actually kind of excited to dive into it. I think there's a lot of really cool new toys that Snorlax has to play with, and with Azul's group being on the control kind of stall decks for the past couple of tournaments, it definitely seems like these archetypes are now on their way back up in the meta, so it may be time to start respecting them more. Yeah, guys, with that all being said, we're going to go ahead and dive into the list here. Pokemon lineup is relatively standard. We do have the 4 Snorlax, which is in here for that block ability. It says as long as as long as it is in the active, your opponent's active Pokemon can't retreat. Now, we are currently in a format where Switch is not commonly played in the high level meta decks. The only deck that really plays high counts of switching cards is Lost Box, so that's where Snorlax really gets the advantage of being played. We are running 2 Rotom V as well. This card is very important to this archetype. Because we're not really trying to attack most turns, being able to just end our turn by drawing 3 cards with the instant charge ability on Rotom is really important. We are also running 2 Mimikyu. This is another way that we capitalize on Pao and Zard being the popular decks of the format. There can be certain board states that are accomplished or that are made to where Mimikyu can just win you the game in a similar fashion to where Snorlax can. Even in the early game, the Mimikyu can be quite annoying, so it can sometimes force your opponent down a different pathway, which will be beneficial to you later on in the game. And then one of the newcomers into Snorlax is the Sandshrew. It is in here for the Sand Screen ability, which says trainer cards in your opponent's discard pile cannot be put into their deck by the effect of your opponent's item or supporter cards. This does shut down things like Team Yell's Cheer and Palpad, so that way your opponent cannot recycle things like Turo, Silene, and Team Yell's Cheer with Palpad. So this really helps eliminate some of the ways that your opponent can try and fight back against you, and this card was just an incredible addition for Snorlax. One also kind of new Pokemon that we have in here is the Mantine. It is in here for that Born Ashore attack, which says put a basic Pokemon from either player's discard onto that player's bench. This is basically a pseudo replacement for a card that we lost with rotation called Echoing Horn. Echoing Horn was an item card that lets you put a basic Pokemon from your opponent's discard onto their bench. And then this is essentially there to do the same thing, because one kind of key aspect for the Snorlax strategy is to get a low value Pokemon into your opponent's active that they cannot retreat. And because of a card like Erica's Invitation, which lets us pick a Pokemon from our opponent's hand and then put it into the active by forcibly benching it, the opponent will oftentimes try to discard the Pokemon, so that way we cannot snipe them out of the hand with Erica's Invitation. And then that is where the Mantine comes in to punish them. So now these low value Pokemon have no safe space to be in. If they're in the discard, Mantine will take them. If they're in the hand, then Erica will take them. So really the only place that they can stay in is the deck. And the deck is the hardest part of the field to maintain control over, because it is all relatively random. And then the last couple of Pokemon we are playing is the Chi-Yu. Chi-Yu has become a pretty staple card in most control / stall archetypes. Just being a high hit point basic mon that can mill 2 for 1 energy is very good for strategies like this. Sometimes it can really catch your opponent in that off turn where maybe they were starting to mount a comeback and then all of a sudden you just mill 2 and the game is over. This is also really crucial for mirror matches, because if both players are playing Pidgeot V, then the game will effectively become in an infinite board state. So the Chi-Yu does allow you to mill a Pidgeot V in the end game for mirror matches. Going on to the supporters, we are playing quite a bit of them. We have 4 Penny and 4 Arven. 4 Arven for maximum consistency, 4 Penny just to deny. We are trying to forcibly either create a board state where our opponent cannot break through, or we are trying to deny prizes and eventually hit that win con of just stalling more turns, making our opponent draw more cards, and just eventually running them out of resources. Next up, we do have the 3 aforementioned Erica's Invitation. This is a way to snipe those low value Pokemon out of the hand and get them into the active spot. We are playing 3 Airy as well. This is a very great card for disruption based archetypes. We are in a very powerful item format, so being able to snipe these powerful items is very crucial. You can get things like switch cart, superiors, super rods, pow pads, prime catchers. So this card is very vital for the stall archetypes to make sure that we limit the outs our opponent has access to. And next up, probably the MVP of Azul's weekend is the Misfortune Sisters. The Misfortune Sisters let you look at the top 5 of your opponent's deck, and then you get to choose any items you find there and then discard them. I believe throughout top 4 and the finals, Azul had 3 5-card hit Misfortune Sisters, which is just absolutely devastating. That progresses the win condition for the stall deck by a lot. And granted, he was playing against item heavy decks in Qianpao with top 4 and Lost Box in the finals, so it's not completely unlikely that you do that in those kind of matchups, but it was definitely very helpful. And then to round out the supporters, we do have 4 one-ofs. We have 1 Iono to kind of act as our own reset at some point. If we build up like 20-30 cards and we're in a weird board state where we haven't found the Pidgeot or something like that, then we can use the Iono to put cards back in the deck so we don't deck out. It's also a way to disrupt the opponent, because this is the only hand disruption, or hand shuffler. Our opponent can try and sit on some amount of resources and pull off one big combo turn. So this is a way to kind of disrupt that as well. We do have 1 Boss's Orders in conjunction with 4 counter catchers. As soon as our opponent takes a prize, we are really just trying to gust and force them to use those switches, to use energies in super awkward places to retreat or to attack with suboptimal Pokemon. This deck really forces your opponent down very suboptimal lines, and it has just the right amount of tools to capitalize on that. And then we are playing the Team Yell's Cheer and the Silene package. The Team Yell's Cheer plus Silene plus 3 Palpad is effectively a way to go infinite on resources. You have Silene to put back Palpad. Palpad puts back Team Yell's Cheer and Silene. Team Yell's Cheer puts back any 3 supporters. And you can technically not go infinite, but you would have to flip like 8 tails or something. Because all you need is 1 heads to put back a Palpad, which puts back Team Yell and Silene, which gives you a few more extra turns. So you would have to flip a ridiculous amount of tails in a row to not go infinite in your supporter resources. Moving on to the items, we are playing 4 Pokegear. Just being able to pick and choose what supporters to play in each turn is really crucial for a pseudo control style of deck. We are playing 4 Nest Ball for consistency. All of our Pokemon are basic, so it makes sense. We have the 4 counter catchers as mentioned before. We have the 3 Palpad just to help us recover all of our supporters. And then for one-ofs, we have 1 Super Rod, 1 Heavy Ball, 1 Switch Card, and 1 Vessel. All kind of niche utility item cards. And then for tools, we are playing 6 of them. We have 2 Defiance Vest, which if we are behind on prizes, the Pokemon it is attached to takes 40 less damage. This is, just a way to kind of survive more attacks, and it can definitely come in handy. 2 Bravery Charm is essentially the same thing. It gives you plus 50 HP instead of reducing the damage taken by 40. And sometimes having more HP is better than reducing damage taken. And then on the topic of increasing HP, our A spec is Hero's Cape. This is the one that makes the most sense, you know, with all the pennies that we have access to. This card will get a ton of value. And then that is like another crucial card that Airy can snipe would be Lost Vacuum. So eventually in the late game, if you do get a Hero's Cape to stick, then it's borderline game over for your opponent, depending on the matchup. And then the last tool is one for Sealstone, just to be able to put onto the Rotom or the Pidgeot. We are playing one stadium that is Artisan. You know, our main component is Snorlax, and that happens to be a non-rule box Pokemon, so just being able to freely get more Snorlax per turn is really nice. And then to round out the deck, we're playing two Fire Energies. This is only in here for Chi-Yu. So you're mainly only playing two, so that way you can't prize your only copy if you're playing one. You still can prize both of them. I have seen it happen, but this does significantly drop down the rate at which that is possible. And it also does let you get full value out of Earthen Vessel. So that way you can grab two cards instead of one to, you know, limit your deck and get more beneficial draws off of Rotom. Yeah, guys, with that being said, that is the list that we are going to be running with today. Remember, if you do enjoy this kind of content, to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and then go ahead and leave me a comment down below how you feel about Snorlax Stall. You know, as a control player myself, I'm honestly not the biggest fan of Snorlax. I like control, I don't like stall, because it feels like stall has a lot less interaction between you and your opponent, whereas like control really makes you think about like plays and stuff like that. Not to, you know, say that Snorlax doesn't involve that. It just feels a lot less interactive, and it's just not something I like personally, but I do think the deck is very strong. Yeah, guys, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and send you over to the gameplay. Alrighty, guys, it does look like we found our opponent for the day. Hopefully, we will win the coin flip. We don't really need to win the coin flip, but being able to get those extra 3 cards off of Rotom would be nice. However, going second and getting potential access to Arven would be really cool as well. So first or second probably doesn't really matter. Our opponent won the coin flip and they're going first. Judging by the sleeves, we are probably playing against Pow, which will be really good for us. There's a pretty good matchup. Yep, we're going against Pow. So things we're looking to do here is use Misfortune Sisters, discard Super Rods and Superiors, lock up Bibarel in the active. Okay, our opponent did get lucky enough to start with a Chiamp Pow. Yeah, hopefully Snorlax doesn't see a ton of increase in play, because I was planning on playing Pow for LA. I still probably am, but having to potentially grind through the Lax matchup is not something I'm looking forward to. But I'm very interested to, or like I'm intrigued by the fact that the opponent did choose to get 2 Frigibacks. There's literally nothing in this deck that threatens Baxcalibur, so you only need to get 1. And it does leave more like potential bad hits off of something like Misfortune Sisters. It does also mean that you have, you know, bad cards to draw into yourself. But I personally don't think you need to go for more. Okay. I'm gonna start with the Nest Ball. Rotom. It looks like all of our Pokemon are here. Price the Pal Pad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we have all those. We have the 4 counter catchers. We prize the boss just fine. Prize, then Erica, which is also fine. I'm gonna see if I could potentially hit an Erica off of a Pokegear here. We hit Iono, that's fine. And a Misfortune Sisters. I'm probably actually just gonna go for the Misfortune Sisters. Sick. Those were really good hits. We hit Ultra Ball, Rare Candy, Superior. I can put the Mimikyu down. I don't think I need to, but I will, just because if they do get like Rare Candy backs and KO this Snorlax, it'll be kind of an issue. Okay, we do hit Counter Catcher and Penny as well, which is massive. So putting Defiance Vest on Mimikyu is going to be really good, because it means that Greninja will not be able to KO it. Okay, so they do have the Irida for the backs. So we are getting knocked out this turn. It's just a matter of if that matters. It probably does, because we don't have another Snorlax. But we can pay the retreat for the Mimikyu. So we can like Arven for Forest Stone Nest Ball. Could probably even get the cape. Are they gonna get greedy and go for the prizes? Yeah. So there's the Rare Candy into the Baxcalibur. But see, now this makes them have to discard 4 energies. Okay, here's the Super Cold. So if we attach one to Greninja and then retreat, we have full value out of a Superior. Okay, so the Prime Catcher's gone already, which is massive. So now we can like counter catcher the Baxcalibur. They didn't use a Superior, which I feel like if they had one right there, they definitely would have used it. Okay, we drew Forest Stone. The Defiance Vest doesn't do anything here. I mean, I'm definitely going to counter catcher the Baxcalibur. Is it Baxcalibur? No, it's probably the Frigibax, actually. So we counter catcher Frigibax. We put a Defiance Vest here. We Arven for Nest Ball. And Defiance Vest. Probably should have played this first. We are going to Nest Ball for the Rotom again. I don't really see a point of putting this here. I don't really see a point of doing this either. Yeah, I think we're just going to go for the Rotom. So now, with their Prime Catcher being used, we do know they have access to the bundle. And they have a Superior. So I probably should have Forest Stoned for a second Snorlax. And I should have put the Defiance Vest on the Mimikyu. But honestly, this is kind of okay. Yeah, I forgot about the Iron Bundle. So that was my fault. However, by pushing the Mimikyu up, it is forcing them to attack with either Baxcalibur or Greninja. I have to imagine they either got like Rare Candy Baxcalibur or they're getting the bundle. Well, there's bundle if they want it. Canceling Cologne. Okay. So this does mean they have to get rid of 4 more energies. There's a second superior. Getting rid of the nest balls. Okay, so I think... Ooh, that's weird. Why would you forcibly commit all of those energies like that? And you keep them on the POW? You're down 3 superiors already. So... Alright, that works. So I can Arven for Nest Ball, get Snorlax, Forest Stone for another Snorlax. I can also just put Defiance Vest on this. But I think I'm going to go for the Arven for the Nest Ball and the Hero's Cape. Okay, I do still have all of my other Snorlaxes, so we're going to do this. We're going to go Forest Stone. Going to Star Alchemy. And then I'm actually going to grab the Artisan. So we're going to Artisan. We're going to grab Lax. We're going to Nest Ball. Grab another Lax. We're going to attach. We're going to put Defiance Vest here. Hero's Cape here. Counter Catcher, the Little Backs. And then we're going to Instant Charge. So the reason that I keep doing the Little Backs, by the way, is because unless he evolves this, it can't do any damage to us. And he is down 2 rare candies already. He only has 1 superior. So it's looking pretty alright for us. Okay, so they're playing 2 Cypher, which means that they're probably not playing the boss. But I don't know what this can grab. Okay, so they just passed. I'm definitely going to go for the Misfortune Sisters this turn. They probably put the Silene on top, if I have to imagine. So I'm going to go for the Sandshrew. And we'll put the Bravery Charm on this. And we'll go for the Instant Charge. So we should be alright now, because now with the Sandshrew in play, they can't use Silene to put back their resources. We did disrupt the Cypher Maniac. And we got rid of more Super Rods. So I think this is probably game. Yeah, they just pass. So we'll go for an Airy. Get an Ultra Ball. Okay, so they have nothing but Pokemon in their hand. So if we can Erica next turn, that would be fantastic. We don't have any yet. So let's see. We have Mimikyu. I'll leave that in the deck. And I will just Instant Charge. Okay, there's an Erica. So what I'm hoping to do here is Erica the Iron Hands. I probably could just keep going for Misfortune Sisters. What items do they have left? a super rod, a rare candy. We're just gonna grab the big boy, and we're going to instant charge. So now with the Iron Hands in the active, I'm probably just going to start using Chi-Yu. Because they're out of superiors. So they won't be able to attack the Chi-Yu. The Silene won't work. Or it shouldn't work. Yeah, that's what I thought. So we're gonna bench Chi-Yu. Go for the penny. And we're just gonna mill them out over the course of a couple turns. We hit the third super rod, which is nice. Trainer cards, okay. So yeah, at this point, it should just be a clinic. Like, they are fully out of recovery. Like, the prime catcher's gone, the 4 superiors are gone, and they are gone as well. So, you know, as you can see, Qian Pao is a pretty good matchup for Snorlax. They only have a certain amount of turns where they can burst and, like, pressure you down. So, you know, go ahead and collect this. Deal 50 damage. Oh, we're not doing that with Snorlax. So yeah, guys, that's, you know, kind of the power of the Snorlax stall deck. As you can see, it is a great meta call. We did get to see it, you know, against probably the second most popular deck in the format right now, and we kind of just, you know, once we hit the mid to late game, we really had the game just sealed up, and there was really nothing the opponent could do. So yeah, guys, remember, if you do enjoy this kind of content, to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and then go ahead and leave me that comment down below, and I will see you in the next one.